Do you think fashion is just about beautiful things? You're mistaken. For centuries, the women's wardrobe was a true arsenal. Dresses soaked in deadly poison, stockings that drove entire armies mad, and accessories that served as a secret code for lovers, understood only by the two of them. Women risked their lives for beauty, and men lost their heads, sometimes figuratively, and sometimes quite literally. We're used to seeing the ceremonial side of history, but what lies hidden behind the silk and lace? Today we're going to strip away everything unnecessary. 11 fashion facts written in blood and passion. Attention! After this video, you'll never look at women's high heels the same way again. Let's go! The Victorian era, the 1860s. Paris and London were swept up in a craze for a new shade. Paris green. Empresses and courtesans wore emerald dresses to shine at candlelit balls. The color was deep, hypnotic, and deadly. It was all about the dye's composition. It was made from a mixture of copper and arsenic. Up to half a kilogram of pure poison was used for a single ball gown. A woman putting on such a dress found herself in a gas chamber. With every movement in the dance, with every sweep of the skirt, invisible poisonous dust would rise into the air. They died slowly, lost their hair, and suffered from ulcers on their bodies. But the paradox was that in the early stages of arsenic poisoning, it gave the eyes a feverish shine and the skin a noble pallor. Men went mad for this dying beauty, not realizing that simply dancing with such a lady could cost them their health. Beauty demanded sacrifices, and the sacrifices were real. 1941. The Second World War changes everything. Governments confiscate all nylon for the production of parachutes and tents. Stockings, the main fetish of the era, disappear from store shelves. For women, this is a catastrophe. To appear in public with bare legs was considered the height of impropriety, almost like being naked. What do? They embark on a grand game of imagination. Foot bars open in beauty salons. Women's legs are covered with special paints, tea-based sauces, and powder to imitate the texture of fabric. But most importantly, the seam, that very famous back seam, which visually lengthens the leg. Women would spend hours drawing it on their calves with an eyebrow pencil, or ask their friends to do it neatly for them. Men were well aware of the deception, but the sight of a woman carefully drawing a line up her skin excited them far more than real fabric ever could. It was a collective hallucination where desire proved stronger than reality. A lot of lies have been told about corsets. We were told that they broke ribs and made women faint. Yes, extreme lacing down to 33 centimeters did exist, but those were isolated cases for fanatics. For most women, the corset was not an instrument of torture, but an exoskeleton. It served as powerful back support. Women in corsets could maintain perfect posture for hours without feeling tired. Moreover, the corset changed the physiology of breathing. By constricting the diaphragm, a woman could not breathe with her stomach, only with her chest. Think of the movies. Ladies are always frequently and dramatically raising their chests. This isn't the actresses pretending, it's a physical necessity. And this effect of excited breathing had a hypnotic effect on men. The woman appeared fragile, breathless with emotion, and the man wanted to save her, in other words, to unlace her corset. Psychologists claim that tight lacing gave women a sensation of being embraced, a tactile pressure that calmed the nervous system. Imagine Tinder, but in the 18th century. How could you let a gentleman at a ball know you wanted to meet in private when your husband and a dozen gossiping women were watching you? You used a beauty mark. These small pieces of black velvet or taffeta were originally used to cover smallpox scars, but the age of gallantry turned them into a sophisticated language of flirting. The placement of the beauty mark changed everything. A beauty mark at the corner of the eye was called passionate, in the middle of the cheek, gallant, and on the nose, impudent. But a beauty mark above the upper lip meant coquette and was a direct invitation to a kiss. There were entire manuals dedicated to interpreting these signs. A woman could apply a beauty mark in the shape of a carriage, hinting at an elopement, or in the shape of a heart. A mistake of just a couple of centimeters could turn a respectable lady into a woman of ill repute in the eyes of society. It was a game where the face became a map of desires. Today, the high heel is a symbol of femininity. But the irony is that it was invented by tough men for war. Persian cavalrymen in the 10th century wore shoes with heels so that their feet would be firmly fixed in the stirrups when they needed to stand up and shoot a bow. The heel was a sign of masculinity, strength, and aggression. Women only started wearing them in the 17th century in order to literally elevate themselves and stand on the same level as men. But then biology intervened. It turned out that a stiletto heel changes the biomechanics of a woman's body in a unique way. To maintain balance in heels, a woman has to arch her lower back. This arching, or lordosis, is subconsciously perceived by primates and men on an animal level as a signal of readiness to mate. Additionally, the calf muscles contract, and the hips begin to sway with greater amplitude while walking. Women stole this footwear from men to turn it into the ultimate weapon of seduction. During the Renaissance in Italy, it was believed that the eyes are the mirror of the soul and that this mirror should be huge, dark, and bottomless. To achieve the effect of moist eyes, ladies used the plant belladonna, which translates as beautiful woman. Essentially, it was the juice of a poisonous soporific plant. They would put the poison directly into their eyes before going out in public. The alkaloids in atropine blocked the receptors, causing the pupil to dilate to incredible sizes, completely covering the iris. The eyes became black lakes. Men would drown in that gaze. Dilated pupils in nature are a sign of strong arousal and sexual interest. The woman appeared madly in love. The price was terrible. Ladies began to see hallucinations right at the balls. Their hearts beat like birds, and by the age of 40, many had gone completely blind. They literally sacrificed their sight just to be looked at. How did an ordinary piece of underwear become the highest state award? Before the invention of elastic bands, stockings were held up by garters, ribbons tied in a knot above the knee. Losing a garter in public was a disgrace until it happened to the Countess of Salisbury in 1348. During a lively dance with King Edward III, her blue velvet garter slipped off and fell to the floor. The courtiers began to giggle. The countess blushed deeply, but the king acted like a true alpha male. He picked up the intimate piece of attire, tied it around his own leg, and loudly declared, "Shame on him who thinks evil of it." Thus, the Order of the Garter was founded. The most influential men in Britain still wear this symbol to this day. This is the only case in history when the male elite united around an item of women's underwear, making it sacred. The choker, a tightly fitting necklace, is now associated either with high fashion or with subcultures, but its history is steeped in the blood of the French Revolution. At the end of the 18th century, when the Reign of Terror subsided, aristocrats began to hold strange parties, victims' balls. Only those whose relatives had died on the guillotine were allowed to attend. The main trend at these balls was a thin red satin ribbon tied around the neck. It symbolized the mark left by the guillotine's blade. Women wore this eerie symbol with pride, turning tragedy into style. Later, the meaning changed. In the 19th century, a black velvet ribbon around the neck became a distinguishing mark of high-class courtesans. Think of Manet's painting Olympia. The woman in it is completely nude except for her shoes and a black choker. This accessory has always teetered on the edge between mortal danger and illicit love. In the 1940s, red lipstick stopped being just makeup. It became a political statement. Adolf Hitler was a staunch opponent of makeup. He promoted the image of the natural German woman and considered lipstick a sign of degeneration. Upon learning this, the Allies made a brilliant move. Red lipstick was declared a symbol of the fight against fascism. In America and Britain, shades appeared with names like Victory Red and Fighting Red. Women put on lipstick as they went to work in factories, joined the army, or saw their husbands off to the front. It was a way of saying, we are not broken, we are preserving ourselves. Winston Churchill personally made sure that lipstick production did not stop, even during the hardest days of shortages. He understood that a woman's fighting spirit lifts the fighting spirit of a soldier. A red lipstick mark on a letter to a soldier was more important than bullets. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, going outside without gloves was just as improper as going out without a skirt. A woman's hands had to be hidden, but any prohibition gives rise to a fetish. That's how one of the most erotic rituals of that era was born, the removal of a glove. A long glove reaching above the elbow, made of satin or kidskin, was removed slowly, finger by finger. This was called a hand striptease. A bare wrist and then a bare palm had an intoxicating effect on gentlemen. Moreover, gloves were the perfect tool for espionage and adultery. Notes were hidden inside the long cuff. During a handshake or a casual touch, a tiny piece of paper would pass from the lady's glove to her lover's palm, right under the jealous husband's nose. It was mail that could not be intercepted. In July 1946, the world was discussing the US nuclear tests at Bikini Atoll in the Pacific Ocean, and 4 days later, French engineer Louis Réard presents a swimsuit which, according to him, is supposed to create an explosion more powerful than the atomic bomb. He calls it the Bikini. It was so scandalous that Réard couldn't find a single professional model to showcase it. Everyone refused. He had to hire a striptease dancer from the Casino de Paris, Micheline Bernardini. What was so shocking about it? For the first time in fashion history, the bikini revealed the navel. The Vatican declared the swimsuit sinful. In Spain and Italy, it was banned by law, but the genie was out of the bottle. Bernardini received 50,000 fan letters in a week. This little piece of fabric sparked a sexual revolution faster than any slogans ever could. The history of women's fashion is a story of manipulation, survival, and power. For centuries, women have turned their flaws into weapons and strict prohibitions into objects of desire. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Would you dare to wear a dress with arsenic for the sake of a perfectly green color? Let us know in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed this format and subscribe to the channel. In the next episode, we'll uncover the secrets of the female body that biology keeps silent about. See you next time.